half term. I'm still in bed. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. My kids are playing Lego, and I'm going to get up and do some work shortly. And do you know what? After lunch, we're actually off to the seaside for the bank holiday weekend. So very excited. Let me know what you guys are up to this bank holiday weekend. So the other day, I had a friend actually say to me, when I say a friend, somebody that I know, so I wouldn't say they were like in my like close circle, but somebody that I know, not, how do I word this? They didn't have a go at me as such. They kind of were, they basically said to me, when they kind of said this, so 5 years ago, why didn't you convince me to do this business? I'm just doing this call, love you too. They're like, why didn't you convince me to do this business? Because, and this is kind of what they were saying to me, because fast forward 5 years, so now to the present day, they were like, I'm burned out in my job. I'm in a job that I absolutely hate now, something I trained at and worked really hard towards gaining and spent a lot of money on study. And I'm burned out. I don't want to be doing this until retirement. So we're doing this for the next 40, 50 years until retirement. I've got no free time. When I have the weekends off, I'm just tired. I've got no time to do anything. I don't have a family yet, but when I do, I'm not going to be able to be present in my children's lives. I'm not going to be able to be at every school drop-off, every school pick-up, every parents' evening, every sports day, every nativity. Like, they were saying all this. And they said to me, why didn't you convince me to do this 5 years ago with you? And I said to them, well, my job isn't to convince people to do Arbonne. Like, no, that's not what I do. It's not in my nature, and that's certainly not how I want to build my business or my reputation. The way I see my job is to share the Arbonne story, and for every 10 people that I share the story with, only a couple actually want something more out of life, and 2 are willing to do something about it, because those are 2 very different things. You know, in society now, we're nearly at 8 billion people on this planet, a lot of which will say that they want more time, they want more money, they want better health. Like, they'll say all these things that they want, but wanting something and be willing to do something about it are 2 completely different things. So I can sit here now and say, I want to be a runner, I want to go out and I want to run every single day, and I genuinely do. I'm not lying, I do want that, but actually getting up and putting my trainers on and going out for a run, it just doesn't happen. So wanting something and doing something about it cut worlds apart. So when I talk to every 10 people and tell them about Arbonne, most of which will sit there and say to me, oh my gosh, oh, Danny, I would love that. I would love to have an online business that turns over millions and millions of pounds a month, of which I get a percentage of. Morning, Jacqueline, I would love that. But actually, from wanting something to doing something about it, it is different. So then I might say to them, so this is what I said to this person 5 years ago. I told them the story of Arbonne and how great it is and what they could get from it, and they wanted all the stuff that they could get from it. But when I said, like, right, okay, so you've got to get an account, which is £30, and that account will last you a year, and then every 12 months you have to renew it, which is £25. That's step 1, get an account. Then number 2, we're going to go through the training process, which is a couple of weeks, so we'll go through the training. And then number 3 is everything that I teach you in the training period you have to implement going forward. So you do it part-time and you pick your hours. So you need probably a minimum of 10 hours a week to actually be doing this business, telling people the Arbonne story, answering questions. And she sat there and she was like, nah, I don't really want to. And I was like, okay, that's absolutely fine. Like, I'm like, fine. And there was a girl at one of the events last night, she might watch this, and she listened to all the information. She was like, oh, it sounds really good, but I don't really want to spend the next year doing it. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I was like, what do you want to do then? She was like, I want to be an accountant. I was like, amazing. Like, the world needs accountants. Like, the world needs people that are willing to work. I say 9 to 5, but realistically, it's morning Amber. Realistically, it's what, 7, 8 in the morning until 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, and you're bringing work home. Like, the world does need people like that. Like, the world needs nurses, firefighters, doctors, people that work in offices. Like, the world needs that. Not everybody can be an entrepreneur. If everybody was an entrepreneur, the society would collapse. Like, we need 9 to 5 people, and some people are cut out for being 9 to 5 people. Some people are quite happy to be given like commands by their boss and act accordingly. For me, I have a little entrepreneur inside of me. Even as a child, I was trying to sell like rubbers at school. Like, I am an entrepreneur, and lots of people are. And entrepreneurs are not cut out to do 9 to 5 jobs. They are not cut out to ask for time off. They're not cut out to get a command and act on it. Like, they want to be creative. They're innovative. They want to speak to people. They want to create things. So many people are entrepreneurs, and this girl last night, she wanted to be an accountant. And I was like, wonderful, like the world needs accountants. You go on and you do that. You stay being an accountant until you retire. You retire and the world is going to be a great place with you in it as an accountant. And she said to me, yeah, but I do want to travel and I do want to have all my free time and I do want to do this. And I was like, I'm not really seeing a way that you can merge the two of these things together, unfortunately. You can't say that you want to be an accountant and work 9 to 5 and do this and work for somebody for the rest of your life to retirement, and you want to have free time and you want to travel and you want to earn a full-time income doing part-time hours. I don't see how that's going to work. You either cut out to do the 9 to 5 or you're an entrepreneur. So it's the entrepreneurs that get this business and are willing to get an account and go for it and create a full-time income working part-time hours. So this girl from the first girl I was talking about that said, Danny, why didn't you convince me? I was like, why would I convince you? Why would I do that? I haven't got time to convince people against their will. If you're an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur. Like you don't need convincing. If you're an entrepreneur, you hear this opportunity and you go, oh, full-time pay, part-time hours, travel, own boss, let's do this. And you're off on a roll. So I kind of see this business a little bit like, you know, when some people decide they want to be a singer. So if anybody's watched like the X Factor, Fame Academy, any of the different reality TV shows that have been on in the last few years about singers, somebody can sing and they decide to be a singer, and that's step one. That's like getting an Arbonne account. So they decide to be a singer, and then what they want to do is they want to get a contract. Oh, Rachel, I'm an accountant. After 20 years, it's not as fun. Oh, sorry to hear that. World does need accountants though, so you've either got to hang on in there or you've got to find somebody else to replace you, because we do need accountants. So singers, they want to get a contract. So they either go on these reality TV shows or they go to wherever it is that they go to get a contract. Now, there are some singers that will say things that people say when they hear a network marketing business. They'll say, I don't know enough people. I don't know enough people that want to hear me sing or would buy my album to make this successful, and they quit, okay? Most of the best singers in the world we have never heard of because they quit before they made it, because they claimed that everybody they know wouldn't buy their single. And that's what happens with network marketers. Most of the best network marketers we've never heard of because they quit before they got started, because they said, well, everybody I know is not going to see value in what I have to offer. So the singer, everybody I know is not going to see value in what I have to offer. Quit. And then some of the singers decide to keep going. They're like, I know that everybody that I know won't buy my single, but people in the world need to hear what I've got to say. Like, I've got something to say. I've got value to share with the world. And those singers, they go out there and they get rejected, they get rejected, they get rejected, they get rejected, and eventually they get a break and they end up being these amazing singers that we listen to their song and think, oh, that really, really made a big difference in that difficult time in my life, listening to that song. And they add so much joy to the world. These singers, they keep going, they keep going, they keep going. So in network marketing, entrepreneurs, people that have got this little entrepreneur inside of them, they keep going. Yes, they get rejection like any business. Like when people say to me, how does it feel when people say no to you about Arbonne? I'm like, the same way it would feel when I worked at the opticians and somebody said no to an eye test or no to a pair of glasses. Like, I do not lose any sleep over that. I couldn't care less. My job isn't to convince people to say yes or no to this business. It's to share the story. When I worked at the opticians, my job was to help people with their vision and help give people advice. I couldn't have cared less whether they bought a £400 pair of glasses or a pair of contact lenses or a £20 pair of glasses. That wasn't my job. My job was to share information and find a match. And that's the same with social marketing. So I wouldn't waste my breath convincing anybody, because it's not my job. There's enough people out there that would give anything to join our team, to be coached by some of us and get off the starting line. Like, I've not got time to be like dragging people along. It's like PT instructors. If you went and hired a PT instructor and they couldn't get you out of bed, they couldn't get you to the gym, like they're not going to convince you against your will. They're going to go and find another client. They're not interested. Your health isn't going to affect them in any way. So for me, doing Arbonne, it doesn't affect me at all. Like this girl, for example, who 5 years ago said no to Arbonne, it doesn't affect me at all that now she's in a job that she's burned out in, that she hates, that she's lost the passion for, that she eventually wants a family and can't ask for time off. Like, obviously as a friend I feel sorry for her, but as a business person it makes no difference to me. So of course I'm not going to convince somebody, because why would I waste my breath doing that? So when people say to me, when people ask me questions that it's almost like they're saying, oh, convince me. Oh, no, I don't give that. I'm like, you either do or you don't. I couldn't care less. I'll give you the information, I'll answer your questions, but that's as far as it goes. Sometimes it's a bit like dating, isn't it? You don't convince somebody to date you. You show them what you've got to offer. For every 10 dates you go on, probably 8 or 9 of them, it's not going to go any further, but one of them it will. And that's the same as business. You have to speak to a certain amount of people to find one that is going to benefit from what you have to offer. So these singers, not everybody buys every singer's single, but some people do. And that's the same as network marketing. Not everybody I speak to joins my business or buys my products, but some people do. And it's just sifting through the people and not getting caught up in the whole convincing thing. So if you're sat here watching this and you feel like you've got a little mini entrepreneur inside of you and you're like, I want to do something where I'm earning full-time income, working part-time hours, I don't have to ask a boss for time off, I can do as I please. Like if for you this is your solution, then you need to look at it seriously and not be asking the consultant that you know to convince you, because they're not going to be interested in doing that. They've got other people to speak to. They're not going to waste time trying to convince somebody against their will. So if you genuinely have like a mini entrepreneur inside of you, speak to the person that you know that does the business that you're interested in and say to them, look, I'm really interested. I have a couple of reservations and I want to know if you can tell me how I can make this work, because I really want to go for this. Great. And I'm sure that they'll be able to help you with that, but they are not going to convince you. So I know now, I've been doing this 5 years. I know now in the next 20 years, there will be thousands of people that I've spoken to about Arbonne that have said no, that in 20 years time are going to come to me and be like, I wish that I'd said yes. I wish I'd said yes. You have to choose your pain. There's 2 types of pain. There's the pain of now, or there's the pain of regret. And you have to pick which one you're going to go with, because you're going to have one of them. So the pain of now is starting a business, building the business, continuing to build the business every single day for a year or 2 until it's built. And the pain of now is you're going to reap the rewards later on, because the rewards later on, your business is going to pay you whether you work or not. It's like having stocks and shares. You do the work now, or writing a book. You do the work now and it will pay you in dividends like for the rest of your life. So that's the pain of now. The other one is the pain of regret. So the pain of regret is do now whatever you want to do. Watch Netflix, do the 9-to-5 job, do all the fun things that you want to do now, but the pain of regret later on will bite you in the bum, because the pain of regret later on is where your washing machine breaks and you can't afford to get it replaced. Your child, like my child, your child ends up in hospital, you need to take a year off work. How the heck are you going to pay your bills if you have to take a year off work to look after your sick child? That was what happened to me. That was why I do Arbonne. So that's the pain of regret. The pain of regret is seeing somebody that you love need medical treatment, needing £20,000 to go abroad to get medical treatment, and you can't afford to pay it. And then you're thinking, oh my gosh, I wish I hadn't watched Netflix over the last 5 years, because had I switched that Netflix time to building a business, I'd have been a multimillionaire and I could have dropped £20,000 just like that for that medical treatment. So the pain of now or the pain of regret. When people say to me, well, Danny, how do you build this business? I literally build it in snippets of time where most people are watching Netflix, basically. Basically, that's how this works. I don't watch Netflix. I build my business in about 10 hours a week. So 1.5 hours a day, roughly, where most people are watching Netflix, because I don't want the pain of regret. And for me, I've built this incredible business that now, if I stepped away, would keep on paying me. I earn no less than £10,000 a month now, no less. If I stepped away and I did nothing else in my business, the business would keep on paying me that every single month. The reason why I'm so passionate about keeping on is because there are too many people out there that need this business in their life. There are too many people that need Kardashians over Netflix. Yeah, that's my little guilty pleasure. It's only on once a week though, Jacqueline. It's the series. There's only about 1 or 2 series a year as well. So there are too many people out there that need to earn an extra £500 a month. There are too many people out there that need to earn an extra £2,000 a month. And there are too many people out there that need to earn an extra £10,000 a month. Too many people need this in their life, and I can help people with that. So why would I stop when there's people out there that need help? So that's why I keep on doing what I'm doing, because for me, there are probably about between 100 and 300 people a month that join our team. Too many of them need this in their life. Like, if I was to stop, what would I do? What would I do with all my free time? My kids are at school. Like, I might as well just keep helping people, and I love it. I'm passionate about it. And if somebody said to me, do you know what, Danny, my little one's in hospital, like yours was, and I've been in hospital with them for a year, but thanks to my Arbonne business, I didn't have any financial stress. That's what I want to hear. That is what keeps me going, because that's the sort of thing I want to hear. Not that somebody's in hospital, obviously, but the fact that this business has created them no stress because they're financially backed. So that's all I wanted to share, really. I suppose I better get up and actually do something with my day. We're off to the seaside in a little bit. So yeah, choose your pain. Choose your pain. Don't be the person like the girl that said to me the other day, why didn't you convince me to do this 5 years ago? Don't be that person. Have a good bank holiday weekend, guys.